Episode 8 begins at the Bank of Acmetropolis. As a young kid with the voice of Genie Elias gets ready to make his first deposit, the bank gets held up by...
I am massive.
Yes, I can see that you're massive. My friend Brave can attest to that. But your name, please? Massive here has the power to manipulate gravity, demonstrating by manipulating the gravity of everyone in the bank and making quick work of the bank's vault. As he makes his way out with all of the bank's gold bars, Massive takes the kid's coin as well, just to show you that he can also be somewhat of a massive dick.
Did you say Massive's dick?
Brave, keep it in your pants. After the intro, we fade to HQ, where Sports Ball is being watched by Duck and Slam.
I would just like to say how pleased I am to announce the Mondo Bowl is going to take place at the Worldrome.
Huh, there's something familiar about that man. Zadavia interrupts Sports Ball to report on the string of robberies being committed. Given that Zadavia is reporting to them about what should be low-level crime that the regular police will be dealing with, clearly something's up. Back at the museum from Going Underground, nice callback by the way, Massive is currently holding the place up. And down for the guards.
And while you're lying around, I'll just relieve you of your trinkets.
Phrasing, boom! Inappropriate.
Okay, Doc, step away from the egg.
Massive begins attacking the Loonatics with his gravity manipulation, engaging in a gravity tug-of-war with Tech and throwing museum pieces at the rest. Massive takes his leave with a giant egg in tow, while forcing the museum to crumble around the team and the museum guards still pinned to the floor. Despite Slam saving the guards and Duck saving as much as he can, it's too late. The museum collapses to rubble. Ace decides the next course of action would be to manipulate Massive's next crime target so they can be ready. Zadavia chimes in and agrees with Ace, suggesting they set up a sting operation. Since Massive is after money, they go incognito at an investment ceremony, with Duck as the investor, while Ace and Lexi pose as members of the audience, while Slam, Rev, and Tech pose as employees. Tech has devised a new toy that will, in theory, neutralize Massive's gravity wells. It doesn't take long for Massive to show up, with Ace and Lexi ready to fight back. Unfortunately, Ace's laser eyes and sword are no cells, but Slam is able to smack Massive into a wall. In retaliation, Massive forces Duck to the ground and slings the rest of the Loonatics up at the moon, intending to suffocate them as they leave the planet's atmosphere, ending Act 1. Okay, writer and director are both repeats, so hello, random crew members. If you're going to make a superhero cartoon, it's best to get people who are familiar with superheroes, and Del Barris is no exception. Starting his career in the 1970s in the Filipino comic scene, he would become an illustrator for both Marvel and DC starting in 1984. Working on comic books for Batman, Superman, Green Arrow, Blue Beetle, and the Incredible Hulk. 2 years later, he switched to animation, starting out as a storyboarder for the Transformers movie. He would then work on the Transformers cartoon itself, alongside G.I. Joe and Spiral Zone. In the 90s, he would work on such classics as Pirates of Darkwater, Captain Planet, the X-Men cartoon, and Avengers: United They Stand. At the turn of the millennium, Barris would storyboard the second season of the 2003 iteration of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. For Loonatics, Barris would storyboard 3 episodes, all of which were in Season 1. After Loonatics, Barris would work on more superhero properties, including the Superhero Squad Show, G.I. Joe Renegades, and Ultimate Spider-Man. I've talked about Andrew Dickman on this channel before, but I'll gladly give a refresher for those new here. Most will probably recognize Dickman for his contributions to Channel Awesome and his own web series, Electronic Heroes. But as a first for this segment, Loonatics Unleashed was the first series Dickman worked for professionally, doing character design work for 3 episodes of Season 1. Other shows Dickman worked on around this time include Word Girl, Ivan the Unbearable, and a dinky little show, stop me if you've heard of this one before, that goes by the name of Danger Rangers. More recent credits of his include Dinosaur Train, Teen Titans Go, Breadwinners, Right Now Kapow, and the most recent iteration of Looney Tunes, Looney Tunes Cartoons. With no feasible way of escaping Massive's anti-gravity, Ace instructs Duck to grab Tech's gravity stabilizer gun and fire it at them before they can run out of air. Duck, who is still pinned to the ground, is unable to reach it in the cart, but is able to teleport back into their ship and fly up to the rest of the group. Once inside, the Loonatics are able to make their way back to the surface, but because of Duck's extra gravity crushing the controls, it's going to be a bumpy landing.
That's it. Come to Papa.
With their gravity restored thanks to Tech's toy, Tech Toy, the Loonatics are now 0 for 2 against Massive. As a plan B, Ace begins to think counterintuitively. Next time, they'll use Massive's own gravity powers against him. Realizing that Massive's crime heists are getting more and more elaborate, and going after more and more expensive prizes, Ace knows exactly what the big blue guy plans on stealing next. The Basher Ball trophy, which is not only gold-plated, but studded in diamonds. Later that night, at the big game, we see more of that strangely familiar-looking owner.
When I watch a basketball game, I always keep a pot of my own special recipe chili dirt close by. It's the official snack of the World Roll.
What a goofy-sounding human being that doesn't remind me of anyone else, no siree. Ace, Tech, and Rev are in the stands, Tech showing off his new gravity gauntlets that work the same way as his gravity stabilizer gun. If they can slap them on him like handcuffs, Massive will lose his powers of gravity. The Basher Ball game officially begins, which I can only describe as futuristic Quidditch. After a few minutes, the game comes to a halt when Massive crashes the party.
Sorry for the massive interruption. I'm sure you all recognize me. So yes, it is safe to assume this is a robbery.
Before he can make off with the trophy, the Loonatics begin their assault, with Slam taking the first hit, followed by Rev, but they're quickly accosted.
Tech, are you okay?
Define okay.
Hey, I'm just gonna borrow these.
Lexi leads the Basher Ball players into the fight as well, which only infuriates Massive even more.
Score one for the home team. Oops, and you guys.
One final combination attack from Ace, Lexi, and Duck blasts Massive out of the stadium, where Duck is waiting to bruise his ego a bit.
What's the matter? Don't like chili gurt, beans, and all that delicious gurt? Of course, it makes you pack on the pounds. That's why you'll never see me.
The trophy remains positioned precariously in the exit hole Massive made, which the blue guy begins lowering down closer to him.
You know you didn't win that.
You're through, you flea-bitten rabbit.
That's Bunny, Doc.
As Massive attempts to sling a gravity well at the rabbit, it ends up hitting the trophy, causing it to crush him and pin him to the pavement. Before Massive can fight back, Ace cuffs him with the gauntlets. With Massive down for the count, the owner offers a reward for saving the game, a lifetime supply of chili gurt, which Slam readily accepts.
Go to town, son.
Okay, it's official. I'm gonna be sick.
Of all of the episodes of Season 1, this is the one I personally saw the most, as I was able to tape this episode when it aired on Kids WB, and I could freely watch it whenever I wanted to. That being said, this episode marks another instance of a celebrity guest star, in this case being the late Michael Clark Duncan as Massive, best known for his award-winning performance as John Coffey from The Green Mile. Massive is quite the impressive villain, being able to wipe the floor with the Loonatics multiple times, but as seen with the last episode, we're starting to see villains pop up that have next to nothing to do with a meteor impact, which will eventually become the new status quo. We don't know for sure if Massive got his powers from the meteor or not, as we don't really get any sort of backstory for him. For all we know, he could be from a different planet. But this won't be the last we'll see of Massive, oh no. We'll see him again in due time.